We're going to check to see if those x values are evenly spaced out. Aha! We have a problem. The final difference between 3 and 4 is not the same as the other ones. -3 to -1 is a difference of 2, and then another 2, and then another 2. But then we only make a step of 1. Therefore, we cannot use the first differences to calculate the type of relationship. How can you determine that a relationship between two quantities is linear? 1. You can do that if the graph is a straight line. So if you look at a graph and you see a straight line like this, you know that the relationship between the x and the y is linear. Here's another example. The second way is if the equation is first degree. Here's an example of an equation that is the first degree. There are no x values that are squared. The same can be said for this one. The exponent on each of these x unknowns is 1. It is in the first degree. The final way that you can identify if a relationship is linear is by looking at the first differences in the table of values. If they are all equal, then we know that it's going to be linear. Now, how can you determine that a relationship between two quantities is quadratic? 1. The graph looks like a U or an upside down U. We call this a parabola. Here's a parabola, and so is this. The second way that we can determine whether or not an equation or a relationship is quadratic is by looking at the equation. If the equation is in the second degree, in other words, there is an x unknown with an exponent of 2, like in both of these examples. Finally, if you look at the table of values, the second differences are going to be equal. Notice that in both of these examples, the second differences are equal. Example 1. We're going to create a table of values for the relation y equals x squared minus 3x minus 4. Here's our table of values. We'll say that our x's that we'll be using will be -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Notice that we have a mix of both negative and positive numbers, and that the differences between each one, or the intervals between each one, is constant. They increase by +1. When x is equal to -2, y is equal to -2 squared minus 3 times -2 minus 4. This equals 4 plus 6 minus 4, which is 6.